Hey, welcome back, guys. All right, so about 500 of you were with me earlier today when I did a collective message this morning, and I did it as a live stream. And then afterwards, the video should finish processing, and instead, it got stuck in some weird processing loop and it never processed at all. And so it ended up that that video could never be like allowed to just continue on and be released normally because it never like it was all choppy and it never actually completed, and I waited all day and it never actually sorted itself out. I think there have been some YouTube updates that have been going on most of the day because a bunch of things have been bumpy over the last couple days. So at the request of Glow, Glow had popped in on the chat and said, hey, is that video coming back? And I was like, no, unfortunately, I'm bummed out, but it didn't make it. It didn't survive the processing. So I said, we can kind of recreate that though. I remember the first three cards. I'm so sorry. I don't remember all the other cards, but I know we start out with these three. So I dug back into this deck, but I can give you guys first off the gist of it. You notice I've already titled this video because we're going to pick up right where we kind of had the storyline shaping up this morning, but this one could go differently. But we'll start with the first three same cards, which I believe I began by saying it looks like a King of Swords has dug himself into a hole because he's digging a hole in the ocean here, which is impossible to do. And hi everyone, great to see you all. And then we have, I was saying it looks like somebody's realizing they have to speak the truth now. They have to take off the mask. And then we have this feminine who showed up. And I was like, okay, what is the storyline? Well, as we progressed throughout the story this morning, what we actually saw is that he had been, at first I thought it was like somebody pretending to be somebody else, getting to know her under like a false pretense, kind of like a catfish type of scenario, but not for ill intentions, rather because it turned out he had fallen in love with her. But it was time for him to acknowledge that and actually come forward and explain it and express it. And then it kind of morphed to maybe it being like a situation where he started out as a friend, but really had interest in her. And the more he got to know her, the more he realized I got feelings for her, and it's time I say it. So that's how the storyline went this morning. Now, because I cannot say what's going to come out next, I don't know if we're going to stay true to that story, but we are going to start with the first three cards, and I'm going to hold with that same interpretation, at least for the beginning part of this, which is I still feel like somebody has to take off the mask and admit something to her. They may feel like they owe her an apology. We're coming up to that full moon tomorrow. And of course, also Lionsgate portal is officially tomorrow, that 8/8 portal. We're also still in Mercury retrograde. So there's a lot of energies. So let's go ahead and carry on with this story just from this point forward. And we will see if we get a different storyline out of this. It's the best I can do to kind of recreate and give a fair chance for a story to kind of like, present itself. We have a Prince of Swords. Okay, so this is a rapid and sudden decision on this king's side. So a King of Swords is finally deciding. He's got a king, but with two knights. He's got to go ahead and just come clean about something. He's got to go ahead and come clean. And I think he's impulsively reaching out to her. I do not think she sees it coming because we've got that moon behind her. She's here by her tree of life as well. She may be somebody who works late at night. She may be at work. She may be, she does have like, her third eye is very open, but she's obviously otherwise busy looking at things, finding things. She may work a double shift or something as well. And she's just like focused on, building and growing her tree of life. We have a Six of Swords. He has to, for his own soul, he has to come clean. Now, here's the truth of it, though. This can be the card of a player. So is he taking off the mask and speaking a truth to say, I'm not really a great King of Swords. In fact, I've been, less than honorable. That is not how I interpreted any of that this morning. And I don't know yet on this storyline if we're going to, have a different thread, right? All of our stories can go differently depending on what cards come out. All I can say is he has this sudden urge, like I have to get this off my chest. I've been meditating on this. I can't bear carrying this anymore. Okay, so can we just see what is it that you need to say to her? Let's just cut to the chase here. Hi, everyone. So glad you guys are here. We have the Fool. I've been a fool. This is him taking a leap of faith toward her. Maybe he didn't take a leap toward her. Maybe he hid. Maybe he hid behind a mask. And it's like, what the hell have I been doing? Why did I not have the courage to just come toward her? Let me take another look here. What do you want to say to her? Four of Wands. You are my lady. It's what just came to my mind. I can't think of who sings that. I'm hearing that song in my head. Is that like a 1970s? Sweet, if you're out there, I know you probably know the song. Or Rachel's Magic. Both of you always are so quick with the quotes on songs. I can't think who sings it though. This comes across like, why did I not say this before? Why did I not take that gamble? Why didn't I just tell her, I want to build an empire with you? Why didn't I just tell her that I want this Four of Wands relationship? Why didn't you say it? Two of Sacred Circles. Could have been weighing it, could have been juggling it, could have been trying to decide. Look, I actually feel like in this storyline, because we've got this cosmic influence of the, infinity symbol wrapping around the two of them. And I always look at that bear as Ursa Major. I'm wondering if it was a little bit like overwhelming for him, that this feels like, how could this be so balanced? How could it be that I, either fell head over heels in love with her so soon? How is it? It's like the thing he's been afraid to say, which is like, I've known from the beginning that you're my person. And it doesn't make sense. And that's troubling, especially for a clinical minded King of Swords, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy. Maybe he tried to tell himself it's just lust. That's all this is just lust. And that's not what it is. He's been unable to say the truth of it, which is maybe it'd be easier if it were just lust, right? But it's not. It's full blown, this is somebody who's like basically saying, I want to marry her. That's a big jump forward. And if that's the truth that he's known all this time, my problem with this story is, did he try to make it like this was a lighthearted dating scenario? Because keep in mind, he has to say sorry to her. That's him thinking he owes her a sorry. If you, please tell me he did not wreck a really sacred union by trying to treat it like it didn't mean anything, so going off and dating other people. We did get this 9 of Pentacles earlier today for her. It's saying that he owes her an apology because she deserved a hell of a lot more respect. Okay, why else do you need to give her an apology? The Sun, because I should have just been straightforward and clear, and I should have tried to make you happy. Especially if I know you're the person I wanted to marry, I should have been focused on trying to make you happy. When you love somebody, you're supposed to care about them. You're supposed to treat them well. And you're supposed to make them happy. Okay, you know what? I'm digging everything he's saying. Nothing here says like, oh, I'm sorry that I was out cheating and trying to minimize the importance of this connection. We don't see that. Even though this gets a bad rap for being a player's card, I didn't read it that way this morning, and I'm not reading it that way now because we don't have any other cards that say anything unpleasant. We have him taking off his mask. We have him no longer lying to himself and trying to act like this isn't like the love of a lifetime for him when it is. This is his love of a lifetime. What is it about that Six of Swords? What is this energy of like you finally reached a place of calm and peace? Sweet, you're so awesome. Escar, thank you also. Carol, you guys are amazing. Jem, you guys all knew Freddie Jackson. Thank you everybody for weighing in. You guys are amazing. With that Six of Swords, when I said, okay, so what is it that this character has needed to do? What is it that this character has had to, like come to terms with? And it's basically like Emperor and Empress looking into the future together. He had to be able to see that this is what he wanted for his future, plain and simple. To not doubt it, maybe, to not pretend that he doesn't believe that this, could be the person that he spends the rest of his life with. He had to get into a calmer, like maybe this freaked him out. Six of Swords is where we finally go from chaos to calm. And now he can look ahead and say, I could see spending the rest of my life with someone. Maybe he knew right out of the gate, she's the one I'm supposed to marry. And then it was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. This is how do you meet somebody and you already know this is your long-term life plan now. Maybe that freaked him out. How did that make you feel? Let's ask him. The Star, on one hand, like this was a wish fulfillment, then why the chaos and needing to calm? High Priestess and the Hermit. I really think his biggest hurdle in all of this was just wrapping his head around something that was both spiritual and something he was so certain about, that this is my person. This is like a gift from, it almost could have felt overwhelming because this is like supernatural kind of, sci-fi-esque. This is like, how does my intuition know? I know without a doubt that this is my person, but you can't possibly know stuff like that, can you? How is it that some things in life we can be so sure of with no facts, no other basis for it? We just know. I would simply argue, of course, these are fictional stories, right? I'm a fictional storyteller, not a psychic, but I can say from my own life, I have had moments where I had moments of clarity where I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt, the answer to something that doesn't make a lick of sense why I was so sure, but I would have bet everything I had on, I know this to be true, or I know that to be true. And everybody says that old saying, when you know, you know. And there isn't a better explanation for it. When you know something, you know something. And it could be moments of, it's like, it could be simple things. It can be big things. For me, it's always been something big when I've had like this overwhelming, like, yes, I am positive this is the right course of action, or yes, I know this is the thing to do, or I'm positive that this will work out or that will not work out. Those moments of just stark clarity, those things pop up sometimes in my own life anyway. And they're rare. They're very rare. Most of the time I'm like, I have no freaking idea how anything's going to go. But once in a while, I have that moment of clarity where I know something. And it's always personal, right? It has nothing to do. It's not like, well, I know the answer to, some huge complex mathematical equation. It's nothing like that. It's just a personal moment in my own life. But I'm picturing that maybe that's the best way I could describe this. I'm grappling for a way to explain these three cards. What is it that freaked him out? It was how is it that I know this? It's not that he didn't know it. It's not even that he doubted it. It was more troubling him that how could I know what I know? And I think that alone was like, he had to go and digest that. He had to go and, sit with that. And he had to go and ask himself, what does this mean? Why do I have this moment of clarity? Why do I know this is my life path? It wasn't ever about like, I'm not sure. It was about, I am sure. And it's nuts because how do I quantify this when I'm a King of Swords and I like everything to make sense? And he may have tried to say, maybe I'm just really attracted. Maybe I'm just really attracted to her. And he knew that wasn't it. I think he's not like fighting that in himself anymore. Now it's like, I'm ready to just go ahead and admit it. I'm ready to go ahead and admit what I've known all along. And I need to tell her, I'm sorry, I didn't just say what I knew right at the beginning. I should have immediately, like you were a wish fulfillment. I should have just maybe fallen on my knees and thanked my lucky stars that I met you in the first place. Maybe I should have told you how wonderful you were instead of, I feel like he got maybe awkward and silent. Let me ask, how did you treat her? How did you treat her? Escar, you angel. Thank you, sweetheart. You are so sweet. Thank you, baby. So generous. We have a 4 of Cups. Okay, so he treated her like a missed opportunity. He treated her like an illusion. Yeah, you owe her an apology. Him, her, it doesn't matter, okay? This is not about genders here. We have the 8 of Swords. And you might have even treated her like the taboo, the person that there's no way this is an illusion. There's no way that this really is heart of my heart. There's no way. So 8 of Swords is like, I may be stuck on her, but I'm not going to answer, why am I behaving this way? Why am I acting weird and cold? Why am I withdrawing? Why am I acting like this isn't what it is? Oh, I don't like this. I don't like it. I don't like it. This seems like you treated her poorly because I don't know. I don't know. I'll try to zip it here, but I don't like it. Ace of Swords. Well, he's got the clarity here now also. What's your clarity about this? We've got the Wheel of Fortune all beat up. My little puppy ate it when he was little. The truth of it is he's wasted time that he could have had with her. He's wasted time he could have been, trying to treat her well and build a life with her. He might have wasted a significant amount of time. I mean, if you look at how much of this card is missing by comparison, right? That's almost a quarter of it. In fact, I would say that is, if you really look at the amount of, what the size of the card in this deck should be. So he may have lost a significant amount of time that he could have and should have already been with this person who is the love of his life. I don't want to think that look, I'm not loving the way this story is going right now, because I'm kind of under the impression that, like, okay, you squandered your time, but you don't have any business squandering anybody else's. So what does that mean for her? I feel like we should turn our attention to her for just a minute. How's she doing over here? Because don't tell me he's the only game in town. Like, she probably could find somebody else that doesn't do this. I mean, I think there's more than one person that everybody can love, right? So we have a Queen of Cups. She stayed pretty crystal clear and pretty loving. She stayed really, like, we don't see her getting bitter. Oh, she cut him loose. My. We have got the Eight of Cups. She went ahead and she cut the energetic cord and let him go. It frayed and frayed and frayed. I'm wondering if this has been like 8 months or 8 years, because of that Eight of Swords that we saw earlier and that significant chunk of time that he's lost in being able to build with her. And it says she stayed loving and kind, but she cut him loose. Good for her. Him, her, whomever, but good for them for not sitting around going like, well, when is he going to recognize that I'm somebody special in his life? No, she cut him loose and she remembers him. But with the Six of Cups, she's like, he's a soulmate. I know there was something special there, but you know what? We got more than one soulmate. There's other lovers out there for me. There's other people to snuggle and cuddle. There's other people out there for me. Queen of Swords, Three of Swords. And I kind of think that although she obviously still carries a wound, right? There's been some kind of, I feel like she's had dreams about him or something, or there's some astral travel connection from time to time. But I think if she does have dreams, they're kind of sad ones. And it's because it's the reminder that, looking at this from a clinical standpoint, he didn't choose the path that we could have had, but we did see that she cut him loose. She cut him loose in her tangible realm, even if you can't quite cut somebody loose in your memory bank, right? The memories of what our life has been, some people will stay with us. Even if we had a very short time with them, they will stay with us for the rest of our lives in our mind. But it doesn't mean that we hold our life up. And it doesn't mean that we don't go on to love somebody else more and differently than what we loved them, but it also does not erase them from our memories. And I would say that's the thing is, here's the problem. Her memory of them, loud and clear, is they broke my heart. But she's not broken. Just because she can reference, oh, I had a broken heart over them, over him. But that doesn't mean she's broken. That's two different things. To be able to say I was brokenhearted, but I am not broken. I did cut them loose. I know that I loved them. They'll always stay in my memory, but I'm also happy and whole. Like that, I think that that's such a beautiful way to talk about, like, being able to accept what is and not be angry over it, but also not let yourself live in the past, but not have to pretend like the past didn't happen. I think she's in a great place. Yeah, 10 of Cups. At this point, honestly, I don't know, she might be living her best life. She may have family is definitely around her right now. Definitely family and friends, particularly maternal. She may have a lot of female friends, you know, family members. And I only say that because the orcas follow a maternal lineage. Doesn't mean that's the only thing around her, but her life is amazing right now. Yeah, her present moment. This is literally the present moment card. The present moment is we have the succulent, and succulents are full of water. So she's full of like good emotions. She's like, her cup is very full right now. She is not wanting for anything. She's not sitting around, you know, missing them, crying over them. There's no boo-hoos. I don't think she loses sleep over them. If she does have a dream, it's probably not a good one about them. But in her day-to-day, she's super happy. She may have a lot of resources also, a lot of abundance, and a lot of abundance that is stored for like a rainy day. So she could be somebody who's like multi-talented. She could have a lot of different skill sets. Like if one job fails or one company closes, she has other jobs that she can go to, other skill sets to fall back on. She is never up a creek without a paddle. She has got so many like layers to her and so much value to her and so many different things that she's developed in her life. She's that's one of the other reasons I think she's really happy, is because she has depth to her. We got a 7 of Wands. She's not going to be easy for him to get to. If this big plan of his is like, I have to take off the mask, I have to, after all this freaking time, I got to go tell her. I never should have treated this situation as if it weren't the most important connection of my life, because it was, and I knew that it was then. Good luck getting to her. This says you're going to have to be brave enough to go swim with the sharks. And we got a little harpoon down here. You see that harpoon? Look, I think, without being all snotty, I don't mean to sound all snotty about this, but if you blew off a really divine connection for really no good reason, and now you're like, man, I really messed this one up. I really blew this because this is a divine connection. And I knew it from the very beginning. I just couldn't accept it. I rejected it. I said, there's no way that I know what I know. Now I have to go say what I know. And it says, okay, guess what? It's not going to be that easy. There's going to be obstacles, and you're going to have to really fight for the chance to even talk to her now. This is not going to be as simple like, let me send a little message. Hey, I'm ready to get with you now. No, he may have to put in significant effort. He may have to be extremely brave. And that's the test, to say, really, she's that important to you, but you didn't do anything about it. Earn her back then. Earn the right to approach this divine counterpart again. And I mean, 7 is a divine number, right? And this is the 7 of Wands. So I'm just going to say this is not going to be such a cinch. Even for him to attempt to contact her, not going to be so easy. It may not even happen till spring. We got the Queen of Pentacles. He's going to have to significantly put in effort, nurture, try to build, try to, I mean, it could be lots of obstacles, lots of hurdles to getting to her. 9 of Pentacles, she could be gone on a trip when he tries to come by and see her. She doesn't know he came by. She could be out on a work trip. She could be gone. She could be busy. She could be, I mean, there could be a lot of different things. There could be a new baby being born into her family or something also. I don't know if that's grandchild, if that's, something to go celebrate. There's definitely like planting of seeds and things to nurture. There's going to be significant, you see all the different sharks here. There's going to be significant other things competing for her time, where she's just going to be oblivious to him, even if he's calling, leaving messages, sending emails, whatever. She's probably too busy with her own life. And I think, again, that's for a reason. If he really wants her back, he's probably going to have to really work his butt off for it. Embodiment of Wands. She could also be dating somebody else or be meeting somebody else. There could be another contestant for her heart, somebody who's treating her really nice, really well. By the time he finally does get a chance to talk to her, seriously, he's going to have to understand that if you blow off a divine connection, it does not mean that when you're ready, then you just get it. I don't know that he'll ever get her back in this storyline necessarily. We have an awful lot of obstacles that we see. Yeah, there's definitely another lover. And he's going to show up when she's already dating somebody else. I kind of think he tries a weak approach, possibly first, sending a message. She doesn't get it. Um, Maybe asking around about her doesn't matter. There's no passive approach that's going to work here. He, like I said, he may come by and she's not there. Um, there could be different obstacles, and then by the time he does actually like say, I got to go physically show up and see if I can talk to her, she may already have another lover in her life by then, if she doesn't already. And again, this is like, he has to understand, you got to do something to make her want to pick you. She picked you before, you didn't pick her. Now you don't just get to be like, okay, so she was on layaway for me for whenever I was darn good and ready. Oh, no, 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 not in this story. You would have to do something pretty big to make her decide that after all this time, she would want you instead of somebody else, instead of this beautiful life she's built for herself, instead of her 10 of cups that she's already created for herself. What is it that you're bringing to the table? Because she moved on without you, she cut you free, and she built a life, and you're not a part of it. So what is it that you're offering her? Why should she give you another shot? And I'm so sorry to be so blunt, so rude. I know that sounds so mean. But remember, once upon a time, he knew she was really important to him, and he intentionally tried to treat it like it wasn't. He intentionally tried to walk away from a really valuable connection, knowing full well who she was and knowing full well that he wasn't treating her nicely, but he did that anyway because he wasn't ready or couldn't accept that this was really special. I mean, that's why I think this is like, okay, so now you want to say that it's special. Prove it. Prove it. I I don't think that we have very many stories like this where it puts somebody in that much of a hot seat. This one really does. If he's turned over a new leaf, if he feels so differently, if he's so sure, and now he wouldn't deny the stuff that he already knows in his heart, then prove it by showing how would you do things different this time? What would you do? How far would you go to try to win back that person's heart when you know that they're that beautiful, that important, and once upon a time they loved you and you hurt them? What will you, like what effort will you put in to try to heal that and fix that and prove that you're different? With this Ace of Pentacles, this is the big fish. This is the everything has to be handled different. I think that's why maybe once upon a time it was really easy for her to love him. It was really easy for her to fall in love with him. It will not be so easy this time. Not because it's like she's going to intentionally make it hard. I just see that that's what this looks like, is nothing is going to be the same. You don't have access to her heart again the way you did. If she fell for you easily once upon a time, she would not fall for you easy this time. She's different. The situation already played out. You're asking for basically to pick up where you left off, which is, I knew I loved her then, but I didn't choose her. Now I want to choose her. Time has moved on for her. Her whole life's different. So how are you different at this point? All I can say is this is a pretty tough, like going to have to go ahead and prove that he's a lot different. We got the Ace of Cups. This is somebody given the best of themselves, given the best of their heart. We do see the dove flying overhead being reflected in this abalone shell that our little otter is holding. So there is a strong desire for peace. I mean, look, ultimately, what I kind of would read this as is he has to come in ready to just humble himself enough to say, I don't know that I can ever get you back, but here's the fact of it. I loved you then. I wasn't able to accept that myself. I mean, at the end of the day, he might just have to wish her well and hope that she's really happy, but be humble enough to be like, kind of put himself out there and be vulnerable, put himself on the limb. Say, if you ever change your mind, boy, I'd love another shot with you. But I don't know. I mean, part of this might be I have to let you go. I know that, but just know I will love you for the rest of my life. I mean, it may ultimately become that that conversation, but he has to come in and say it to her face to face. He has to have the courage to face her. Otherwise, he doesn't even have a chance. I don't see this as even a chance at, a message getting through to her unless he can face her in this story. The Star. Yeah, if this is your wish, then you would put in effort. I kind of think he's going to say absolutely everything that is on his heart, since we had that Ace of Cups followed by the Star. And I always look at this particular Star card like the flow of words. Like, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say everything that I should have said to you a long time ago, everything that I've ever felt in my heart. I'm going to lay it all on the line. Maybe that'll be enough to persuade her to think about him again as a potential mate, or maybe it'll just be the way she can say, thank you, I wish you'd said all that before. I don't know how this ends. I can only see that for him, this is his moment to actually say what should have been said a long time ago. We have the card of Oneness that is in the reverse. This does not look very much like, we have a Six of Wands upright. I was going to say, this doesn't really look like they're so much on the same page. With that Six of Wands, I don't know who's got paparazzi around them. I don't know if this is... We got the Hermit also. The Six of Wands is about success. Look, I think at the end of the day, remember he was in hermit mode. At the end of the day, this is a major capstone of his life to finally, come out of that silent mode and to finally just say how he feels. And that could just be like, I'm finally ready to step into the light. Because you notice how we have all these lights. Maybe that's just it. Maybe he's never acknowledged what his heart really felt until now. So at the end of the day, no matter what, I think it'll be good for this character to finally say how they actually feel, instead of suppress it, keep it inside, stay really cerebral, shove things away that they feel and try to rationalize stuff. I think this sets him free. So no matter what her reaction is, no matter if she wants him back, no matter if she doesn't, it still looks like it will be good for his soul to have gone through this very, we could say it's sad because he blew off the love of his life and then couldn't get beyond it, and then instead had to come back full circle and then finally make some pretty big transformations. But that would be good regardless, right? To have finally come full circle. Let's change decks. Is there a chance? Is there a chance for these two? We see an awful lot of effort that's going to have to be put in. Eight of Swords. Remember, this is the part that's got to be healed, because we saw him leave her in an Eight of Swords. Like I said, I don't know if he treated her like the taboo, if he intentionally erected a boundary, a barrier to keep away from her on purpose, if he left her confused. She didn't stay stuck, but this is maybe why there's such a heavy, burden that has to be resolved between them. But it's also because you didn't listen to the divine. You put your little Cupid who helped you meet her in the first place, and you put your little Cupid and ignored him in this little bird cage. But the bird cage is opening, and we have the Ace of Cups, and we have the Judgment. I said, is there any hope? And there is more than a sliver of a hope. There's tremendous hope that this relationship could actually come back around. There is a huge, huge potential. If he puts this much effort into this, lays himself on the line, puts himself in the vulnerable position, yes, that's what it would take to prove that there's been any change. But that also would start to undo and dismantle kind of the mistakes that have been made. That's what would perhaps get her to open up her heart to him again, and for the two of them to at least begin talking about reconciliation. Again, there's no guarantees, but is there a chance? Yes, there's a very good chance that this could be worked through. I don't know. Do we see anything about how long this has been? My impression was that this has been quite a while, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Five of Swords, Six of Swords. I almost just said 5 years, so I don't know. I guess, 5 is a number of change. you can see that there really was no obstacle, right? All the obstacle was the perceived external issue. The two of them didn't have to be apart. You know, we already saw that in this story, but instead it was like everything ended up ice cold, hostile, silent. Um, and then, you know, there's that Six of Swords again. There was no reason to sabotage this connection, none that I can see at all. It's just what he did. And I think that's depicted in this card. There was, if the two of them had instead chose to run together and protect each other, or he had chosen to protect this relationship instead of saying, you know what, this is rattling me, this whole like I love her and it doesn't make sense to me, so instead I think I'm just going to move on. If he hadn't chosen that path, we wouldn't have had this big delay. But on the other hand, if he had not been the person who he was, he would never have done this in the first place. And he wouldn't have needed this transformation to finally come around full circle. So, you know, this is really the story of where somebody was at and where they've evolved into. So I don't know. I think that it has been quite an evolution now. It's been quite a bit of time from what I see in this story. All right. This feels like a more fleshed out version of what the one was this morning. Hi, honey. What is it, pumpkins? You can't have dinner for. You want to come up? Oh, come here. I got you. Yeah. Sorry, Aries pops in from here to there occasionally and tells me if he just needs a hello, or he's had 3 dinners. He can't have a 4th, even though he would like more. Sweet, you're so adorable. Tatanka says hi. Carol, so good to see you. Hey, Astrid. Fran Sham, hey. Juno Wild, wonderful to see you. Escar, thank you again, sweetheart. You're so generous always. Aries is licking my ankle. I got cut up by some blackberry bushes earlier today. Hi, Nick. Cataclysmic Awakening, wonderful to see you. Hey, Ma. Thanks, honey. Right back at you. Tack Ellis, great to catch you. Escar, you're cracking me up. Kim Pruitt, hi. I haven't seen you in a live in ages. So good to see you. Small TV, wonderful to catch you, love. Feeling my soul. Thank you, hun. Patricia Bucator, Cherry Coleman. Hey, Chris. San Moy, wonderful to catch you. Andrew, hi, hun. Alana Williams, hey, babe. Cross-eyed reporter, love your name. Spiritual Healing Now, Galaxy Represent Yo. Robin, thank you, honey. So glad you get a night off. You deserve that. I hope it's really relaxing tonight. DLBJR Cooper, Tiny Loose, hey. Thanks again, Jem. Thank you, everybody, for weighing in. I'm so delighted that you guys know. I couldn't think of who that was, who the artist was. So thank you for letting me know it was Freddie Jackson, everybody. You guys are awesome. Buongiorno, Christy. Hi, hun. AC, so great to catch you. Shell Hamilton. Tina's just passing time. So good to see you, babe. I hope you're doing really well. April Fresh, hi. Just Me. Broken Bee for Bliss. Nikki O, Dwanette Raven. April, thank you. Stephanie D. Bruised Like Violets. You sweetheart, I'm so happy to see you. I hope your heart is getting a little bit lighter every day. Lots of love to you and your sweet Penny on the other side of the Rainbow Bridge. So nice to see you, sweetheart. All right, you guys, I'm going to bounce on over to the other channel. I will see you guys there if you feel like staying up late tonight. I'll see you on Tarot Dog. Bye right now. Friendship, thank you, sweetie. Thank you so much. But you know, Wild, you better believe it. Mr. Aries was here all this time I've been saying hi to you guys. So trust me, he feels your vibes. All right, you guys, take care. Bye for now. I'll see you on Tarot Dog.